I don't know if you know this or not, but no book has ever written itself. Doesn't happen like that. In fact, for a book to be written, it takes a lot of labor. It takes a lot of time, focused attention, a lot of effort. And I know because this is number 3 for me, and I got 3 more that are somewhere between 75 and 95% complete. That doesn't happen easily. And let me tell you something else that goes along with that. Every step along the way that it takes to write the book is another learning step and a learning process for the author. Now, there are some who their life is so rich, their education is so rich, their experiences are so rich that literally all they're doing is documenting their day. Everything that goes into the book, everything that they're writing, everything that they're talking about is just like journaling through the course of the day. That's kind of the 1% of authors, number one. Number two, there's even when the flow of information and the flow of the content of the book is from the daily life of, even then, there's this internal conflict that constantly squeezes with immense pressure to bring out of the author the very best. Whether it's a book of poetry or a children's book on prayer or a book on addiction, which is what my book is about, how to get free from addiction, or a book on how to survive in a marriage when you're married to someone who has an addiction, which is what Karen's book is about. And trust me, Karen's book was painstaking for her as well. It was reliving some old things. It was pondering notions of relationships and struggles and conflicts that really we wish we were all gone and all past. But writing that stuff for the value of the audience, impacting the audience, demands reliving it and being honest about how it felt then versus how it feels now, and what made the change, and how did you get free from that, and how are you going to go to the next level, and what advice would you give to somebody else who's living there? See, those are the struggles of every leader. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter if you're writing books or doing something entirely different from that. If you're progressing to the next level, your bicycle doesn't get to the top of the mountain on its own. And it's only the downhill runs, sometimes the level or level to lower, but generally the downhill runs where you get a little bit of a breather, where you don't have to struggle as hard to get to the next checkpoint. If you find yourself at a place in life right now where there's not some struggle for you to be a better person, for you to grow, for you to challenge yourself, can I do that a little better? Could I be better at who I am? Could I be more integrous just to myself? If there's not pressure on you from the people in your inner circle, replace your inner circle. If they've let you reach a place in your life where moving to the next level requires no effort, either you're complacent or your friends are lazy. They're not willing to confront you, to push you, to say, you're going to have to work a little bit harder. You're going to have to be a little bit better. You're going to have to live a little bit stronger. Where you're at may be good. If you're the CEO of some mega corporation, though, your life could still be better. Because this isn't just about a paycheck or a title or a status symbol. So you got the Maserati or the Tesla in the driveway. So what? You're the CEO. So what? You got your dream house. Are you challenging you to be the best you can possibly be? Are you pushing yourself to be a better person than you were yesterday? Are you giving back more than you're taking across the board? More in your relationships with your family, with your kids, with your spouse. More in your relationships with your neighbors. More in your relationships in your social community. More in your relationships at work. With those people who wouldn't know your name and you don't know theirs. Maybe you're the CEO of 25,000 people and they work in the mailroom. But are you daily the kind of person who's adding value to them? If you can't answer that question, yes, that every day I'm working hard to make all of those relationships better, then you're not going uphill, you're going downhill. If you're writing a book, if you're building a new project, if you're working on, like we are, a new television program that will begin to air in 2018, we've got a lot of work still to do. We've got more episodes to shoot. We've got more editing to get done. And all of those things are very important to us. Those things demand of us, beyond our regular jobs, beyond the things that we do every day, beyond the work that we have to put in to be successful day by day by day. Those things for the future demand that we pedal uphill. They demand that we give extra hours. After the sun's gone down and the kids have gone to bed and the work world seems to be finished, there's work to do. Because that work doesn't do itself. These other 3 books that I have to put out, they're pretty much written. All the content is done. The video courses for the online training, already done. But assembling that and packaging it, that takes a lot of work and concentration. Sometimes you don't get to do that during the workday. Sometimes you don't get to do that when you got meetings to go to and other customers to serve. But sometimes that next level of success demands that to get from here to there, you pedal uphill. Last week was the Christian Media Association conference. 3 days of conference time. Great networking, great relationships, great learning classes, great opportunities to build new, deep relationships that will be long-reaching and long-lasting. Next week is the Gateway Conference, another 3 days of conference time. Again, serving, building long-lasting relationships, building long-term project opportunities within that environment, and learning, because that's what Gateway Conference is really about for me. It's a lot of learning. And then the following week, well, 2 weeks after that, is the Marriage Matters Conference in Colorado. And it will be more learning and teaching and presenting our products and being available to minister and mentor to people. And that's very demanding. And it's also 28 hours of driving to get there and back. And then 2 weeks after that is Branson, Missouri, and another conference. And it's about 20 hours worth of driving. That one, not quite as bad. Drive up and back in 3 days of conference and a lot of learning, deep learning, and a lot of interviews and more products to sell and more relationships to build. And then right after that is Lions Roar 2017, the first week in November. Or excuse me, right after that is Generation Love with Thelma Wells right here in Grand Prairie, Texas. That'll be 2 days of conference, of learning, of speaking, of teaching, of being on the stage with the panelists, of running our table. And then Lions Roar, the men's conference. They're expecting anywhere from 800 to 1,000 men this year at the Sheraton in Fort Worth. We'll be there with our product table. We'll be there with our books, hoping to impact and change lives. But you know what doesn't happen in any of those? 3 days here, 4 days there, 3 days here, 5 days there, driving on the road. Books don't get written. Websites don't get updated. Videos don't get shot. Videos don't get edited. And so between each of those, between the meetings with clients and doing video projects for other clients, we are a media company, by the way, all of those things keep the bills paid, but they don't get the books written. And somewhere along the way, if you just start coasting downhill and you stop pedaling uphill, you will pay the price in the form of reaching the place where all the projects you already have done are done. And next isn't happening. And next doesn't come on its own. Books don't write themselves. Videos don't edit themselves. Training material doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from deep within with a lot of squeezing and a lot of pressure to bring it out. Now, in your life, maybe you don't do the same thing we do. You don't produce videos. You don't do training. You don't do online training. You don't speak in front of crowds or write books. That's fine. What is it that you do that's demanding of you to pedal uphill to get to the next level? And are you pedaling uphill? Are you planning for next? Are you training right now so that when that big hill comes, you can take it in stride? Now, you can look at me and realize I'm not in the shape of a cyclist. I'm no Lance Armstrong. with or without the enhancements. For me to get on a bike ride and make it 5 miles would be a stretch. I got no cartilage in my knees. That's a lot of work. So don't go too deep into this analogy. But there are other people who will jump on a bicycle and say, I'm going to go on a 100-mile ride. And in fact, the guy 2 doors down from me invited me to go on a ride with him. And I said, well, where are you going to go? I thought around the neighborhood, maybe out to Prayer Mountain. He said, no, we're going down to the other side of Waxahachie and back. And I said, on a bicycle? That takes an hour in a car. He said, yeah, it's a total 100-mile ride this weekend. I'm like, no. I might go a mile before I'm hurting. It takes training to be that prepared. Whatever next is in your life. Is it the next promotion? Is it finishing that degree? Is it working toward the graduate degree or the postgraduate degree? What is it in your life that's next? And what will you do to succeed at next? The answer to that question rests in how you prepare for that right now. If that looks like a 100-mile bike ride, you better start warming up on the 1 and 2 and 5 and 10 and 20-mile bike rides before that 100-mile comes up. I have a couple of friends who are decathlon runners, Ironman, and they train a lot for that run, bike, swim. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I can't swim that far. I swim like a rock. Are you prepared? Do you understand that whatever next is, it's not going to be downhill? Because if you're going downhill, you're probably not going toward what your next level of success looks like. Success from here, no matter where you are now, success is uphill. It will come with pressure. It will come with struggle, with strain, with pain. It may strain your relationships. It may strain your finances. It may strain your mental ability to stay at it. But stay at it. Oh, it's going to demand that you pedal uphill. Pedal anyway. I'm J Loren Norris, and you've been watching Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.